time to get back to the search for our base of operation. All right, jump right in and get all the shifting and the right clicking good to go. I think we were waiting to help with anybody. So shift there, right click there. No. All right. It's a lot of planets in that one. We've been in the black hole. We haven't been in the black. Let's go to the black hole. Maybe this will be a nice shortcut in a roundabout way. See how long this lasts. Are black holes habitable? Yeah, well, anything can be, to the extent of are they worth your time. Very rarely, I think only a couple of times. A couple of times have I found a black hole that is basically due to tectonics had warm planets. Now what are you? Whoa, you're a railgun. I'll take that back. The last run I took, when we were doing the UNSC, there was another black hole there that was actually a binary system. It had a black hole and a sun on the far side of it. So they were actually very habitable. But yeah, I mean, as long as you're not trying to produce, wait a minute, food, you can. Even the neutron stars are too, which I would I don't hate myself enough to do that. I don't know, you not bothering me at all. I'll answer anything I can as long as I can, Aurelian. A good system colonize, kind of depends on your playstyle. Now, if you want it, you know, there's a difference when, are you going to do it for yourself? Are you doing governorships? You know, stuff like that. For myself, I want a decent amount of planets. And let me just take one I can, here we go. One I can actually see. Let's just say, all right, that's us. So I guess I could use this for an example. Yeah, we'll just use the UNSC. You know, it's one of those, and you can do multiple systems. It's, you know, I just like to keep one good system first because it does take a while for protection. Because, you know, even if you have very weak fleets, if you've got, you know, give a system with, say, 3 planets, even though they're really good, it takes a while for those 3 planets to get good patrols to defend themselves. Where if you've got, you know, 12 planets that are the same, they may be weak, but, you know, you get enough little swarms together, they can do a little bit better. But like this, you know, you got your farmlands. So usually I look for something that can be farmlandable, and I use the terraforming because since this was basic, initially me doing different Star Wars runs. Hey, Kyria, how goes it? You know, they, and the Star Wars verse, they have terraforming. Don't really use it all that much anymore or focus on it, but they did, like Kashyyyk, example of terraforming that went awry because the civilization that was using it disappeared. That's why it's kind of overgrown, and they don't go in the lower levels because it's dangerous or in the darkness. But, you know, so I mean, you usually want one with food because people like food or something like that. So you can only build one space station per planet, but there are ways to, you know, that is a very good solid defense, and you want one on each, but you get each one you can build. I'm not near one, so I can't go on it. You've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, what, 12 slots or something like that for each planet you have, you know. And of course, one is, you know, your control, your where people live and whatnot, so that has to be there. Or was it the port or whatever? And then, you know, you've got the port, which is the space station. You gotta have that for accessibility. And then the rest of yours. Now, each one you can put a patrol on, and that's your first line of defense. Your station would be your last line. The patrols, you know, are the ones that fly around and inspect or defend first thing. And to get them better, I can't really show without a planet either. Well, I could do this. Go into D, Doctrines and Blueprints right here. You can adjust this right here and, you know, click that, make that go away. You can go in here to each faction, you know, as you learn them and find the patterns when you're looking, and you can be like, hey, I want, you know, they're going to use whatever. But you can be like, hey, I only want you to use this ship and this ship and this ship. And they'll start changing the patrols based on what all you've been like, hey, I only want you to use this. And you can do that with the weapons that you allow your ships to do. And, you know, what fighters they're allowed to use. And you can see they're pretty bad demodded, but you can go, you know, I want more ships, which, you know, will affect the other stuff. You know, I want bigger ships. You know, how aggressive are they going to be and whatnot. And you can, you know, generate it a couple of times to see, you know, each time you click this is a rough idea of what you're looking. Now, these can be kind of rough, as you see, lots of demods. So yeah, they're decent ships, but they're weak. One of the planets you're wanting to do, or an asteroid mining facility that you can build, well, given if you have that mod, but, you know, just vanilla, I'll base most of this on vanilla. You want an extreme heat planet because you want to, well, you don't have to, you can put it anywhere you want, but you want to get the heavy industry / upgrading it to orbital works. Those produce ship hull mods. You know, it's an item that's produced that you can sell and vendor. You're not going to actually do that, but that's what they produce. And the more you're producing in a system, the more D-mods that are going to come off of here, because they're viewing it as you're making your own ships or getting them and fixing them up. So these D-mods are going to start going away till you have, you know, nice, pristine fleets in the system. And that's what's gonna really help you out. Whoa! Which is another reason why going around looking for a good system, finding these patterns and stuff like this to put on there so your production can be higher than normal. Oh, wrong button. I want a 6, not a 7. Yeah, so that way we can learn I mean, you could have, I could use Covenant or anyone else, UNSC for the Halo, and I can put Star Wars weapons on them. Things like Volcanic Desert. Yeah, like Volcanic, really good. Because the extreme heat helps them work better. It gives them modifiers. Now, you know, you can click on there and be like, hey, I want to use a story point to make you more efficient, so that way they produce more ship hulls. And the more of those you produce, you know, the better, of course. Like I said, they get. What did I... Whoa! Oh, you're a... That's why you can... Well, we found the thingy. You know what? Let's do a save. Let's see if I can take that. A really, really good planet would be... extreme heat with no atmosphere. That's one of the best patrol fleet kind of things you can get, because the item, like we saw right here, this one, there it is. You know, this one goes on a mining industry. It's on a gas to increase volatiles, which, you know, volatiles is what you use to produce fuel. So the more volatiles we make, not only do we can sell extras for money, but, you know, the more fuel we can make. There's one of these. There's a nano forge. There's corrupted, which is, you know, kind of broken. And then there's a pristine, which makes really good. That ups the ship hull mod. So it makes your ships really good. The problem is they make pollution, guaranteed. That's the drawback to them. Good ships or better ships, but you get pollution. But if you stick that on a heavy industry or a heavy works or orbital work yard that has no atmosphere, you can't pollute, you know, a planet if it ain't got no atmosphere. So that's one of those ones. It's like, yeah, extreme heat. This is going to be great. It has no atmosphere. Awesome. Or likewise, if you, I guess technically, if you found an extreme heat that was already a toxic atmosphere, it's just, you know, getting the one without it would be best. Oh, are you actually gonna, oh, at the same time? All right. Because technically you can get around the... that's right. I was supposed to not use you, right? Or was I supposed to use you? We'll do that to refresh my memory. Yeek. Yeah. No atmosphere, you're not going to have as much hazardous rating as a no atmosphere, and the hazard rating affects how much you have to pay your employees. No problem, glad I could help. Eek. Whoop. Just one of those, you know, anything with extreme heat would be good for planet production. It's just, I kind of, you know, there's a lot of systems out there, and with it being randomly generated, you never know. I mean, I've had some amazing systems. Oh, don't worry, I don't mind. As long as I can help, I don't mind answering any questions, even if, you know, like I tell others. It's like, if I'm not playing the game, you got a question, I'm online, ask me. I don't mind what I'm playing. Yeah, we're doing Covenant right now. For no colony and station limit. Technically, no. Not in vanilla. There is like, you yourself can control 2. Anything past 2, you're going to start taking money penalties, because think real life, too much paperwork. You just can't handle it. I mean, you can handle it, but you're going to start taking money if issues. You can go to other people's stations or even your own, and you can hire freelance administrators, and they have skills too. And you can upgrade them at places also. They can run your planets for you. Each one can run one. However, there is also alpha cores that you can find, and I don't think you can create those without the industry mod, but there are alpha cores out there. You'll get them from revenants, and if you're lucky, ruins or stations, salvaging them. Those can be, put on different buildings to increase their productivity and reduce what they require to work. They can also be put in charge of planets, because administrators are limited to your level. So there is a limit on how many of those, but as you get higher level, you can get, one or more, but it's never going to be enough. The cores, the alpha cores, you're not limited on. The only thing you're limited on the alpha cores is be careful using cores, because like this is a beta. I could put betas and gammas on there to increase productivity, yada yada, but they can't be put in control of planets. This is the best. This is you or administrator. They can be put over planets, stations, and whatnot. But this makes the hegemony really mad. But so be careful, because they keep ramping up and attacking. But that being said, after a while and you beat enough, they'll send a final fleet to attack your systems, which, that doesn't affect their normal hegemony thinking of you throughout this. Well, it does, but that doesn't, it's two different things. That's a storyline thing. When you get rid of the final fleet, they're like, we're taking too many damages. Just fine. Use your AI, your core stuff. We don't care. So then you can really, alpha core everything, and you're off the leash. You don't have to worry about them getting mad. So I think if we go in here right now, yeah. See, I haven't got anything yet. I'm allowed 2, and this won't change. Administrators, I'm allowed 3. So technically, with no penalties, I could have 5 systems / space stations, depending on if I did orbital stations or planetary stuff. I'm allowed 5. But the admin here will change based on, my level. But it's when you start populating planets, that's not really going to keep up. So what I will normally do is, like, one of the things I can build on a planet is a thing that digs up old tech, and you literally have to have it on we just scanned you. Where are you? A thing with ruins right here. Produces its domain archaeology. It produces artifacts. It has a chance to dig up, what is it? Betas and gamma cores. If you put an alpha core on this particular production, it adds the chance to get alpha cores. And that's how you would start each month randomly getting a chance to produce one. So what I'll do is, like, say this was my system. I'd get this up and running with an alpha core. Yes, I have a core, AI core being used that's going to make the hegemony mad. But I'm only using one, so it's going to make them mad real slow, where they'll want to inspect and raid my place, but it's a real slow, like, boop, boop, just little drop in the bucket. So that way, while this is slowly making them mad, all these other planets right here that I'm starting to work on can start getting their patrols up to protect this. And then when I'm ready, I'll start coring stuff. But yeah, like Carrie said, very sandboxy. You'll find multiple ways that you want to run. Like say, oh, governorships. I mentioned governorships. You can do all the governorships you want because it acts the same way. But you know, you're running the planet, getting the money for the planet, putting the money into the planet. But it's technically not. It is your planet, but technically, from the other faction's point of view, it's not your planet. So, like, say I put something here, like, hey, Covenant, I'm going to give you this planet, but I'm going to governorship it. They'll be like, oh, sweet, free planet. Cool. You know, I'll have to pay to build the stuff here. But, you know, and I can core it out. But those cores don't affect the hegemony hating me for storyline purposes for that scenario. Because this isn't my planet. This is the Covenant's planet. I'm just running it. So you can get around it that way too. So technically you could make one that has a widespread ruins or a ruin somewhere to pop out cores until you're ready and governorship that so it doesn't affect you. So there, you know, there's just like in any politics, there's rules, but there's ways to sneak around. Like, hey, you're using cores. No. I'm not using cores. Covenant's using cores. They told me to do that. Man, a lot of scattered ruins here. Like it. So we got that, got you. Okay, let's go out to here. Then we'll zoom back to there because it's closer to an exit. Whoop, but we're not going that close to the thingy though. All right, what can I get rid of? I'm overweight. That. And we'll keep just exactly enough. Looks like I'm going to get over there, dingus. Like say, keeps randomly stopping. I'm going to launch you out there with the stuff. Like, hey, watch this. We'll be back. I'm not coming back. It's been a while since I actually did a governorship run too. I forget who I did that with. All right, so what am I missing? Oh, I missed. Now get down there. Of course, the good thing is there might be something in the asteroid field. Oh, that's something else I usually, because of my terraforming mod, that's something that I normally would look for in a system that a normal person might not look for. I would need if it's a really good system, like, where's my sticky note? Orga that I've got on my note list. I would need a cryovolcanic which there's none here, or some asteroids, whether it be a field or a belt, for a station to do asteroid mining on, so that way I can terraform it. You know, I've got to be able to get water there, so that way I can terraform it. Defensive drone systems. I like defensive drone systems. Orbital. Well, there goes my weight limit again. Oh, that's so mean. Oh, oh, you give me a Crimson and the Knight's Hammer? You gotta be kidding me, game. Whenever I was doing the Imperial stuff, never, ever, oh, I hate you so much. That's just horrible. All right, we got to make room. Yeah, the terraforming is a mod, so you shouldn't have those options like that. I'm not sure what you might need to check. Nope, pause. Let me wait for auto. All right. Nope, game paused auto. You can go over to next, and what you could do is right click here and see if there's any, well, without the terraforming, you won't have anything. So you'll have to be picky. You'll want a system that's probably got some food in it, whether it be arid, Terran, or I don't think tundra. Tundra can be kind of iffy. But yeah, like this right here, it adds in, the terraforming adds in the different stations along with the terraforming controls for me. Who am I? I'm not near anybody, am I? The forces of chaos hate me? I bet they do. Oh, they're neutral. That's awesome. And I swear, Covenant, do not pick a fight. Whoa, what was up here? Cargo pods, never mind. Thankfully, the terraforming mod makes it a bit easier to find a respectable system, because where's Morga, sorry. You see, there's a lot of systems here. Like this is a desert one, so this wouldn't be bad even without it. But without show on map. Yeah, I've got a little bitty asteroid density down here, so I can terraform. The only thing I'm not sure of, there's no stability points. Hey, Raptor. But yeah, you'll find a lot of those like that. Just going around searching can help, especially if you dig up any... what is it? Not this. I need help remembering. It's not this. Any, you know, topography when you're researching or looking at planets or salvaging ships, or the people like, hey, I want you to go out and scan, you know, different stuff. I'm trying to see exploration. No, normally they'll have stuff. I forget where it is. It comes and it goes. But they'll be like, hey, we want you to go